As Muslims, the words we speak carry immense power. They can either build bridges or tear them down. The tongue is one of the most delicate instruments, and when misused, it can lead to harm, regret, and even distance from Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, warned us about the dangers of careless speech, teaching that those who believe in Allah and the Last Day should either speak good or remain silent. Unfortunately, many of us fall into the trap of saying things without fully understanding their consequences. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 words or types of speech that Muslims should never say. These words may seem harmless, but in reality, they can cause great damage to your relationships, your reputation, and most importantly, your relationship with Allah. So, let's take a closer look at how guarding our tongues is essential for spiritual growth. 1. Lies. Lies are one of the most destructive actions a Muslim can commit with their tongue. Islam teaches that truthfulness is the foundation of faith, while lying is a characteristic of hypocrisy. When a person lies, they not only betray the trust of others, but also distance themselves from the mercy of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, warned that lying leads to wickedness, and wickedness leads to the hellfire. A single lie can cause immense damage, breaking relationships, ruining reputations, and creating endless cycles of deceit. Moreover, lying is not limited to major falsehoods. Even so-called small lies are harmful and disliked in Islam. Muslims are encouraged to uphold honesty in every situation, even when the truth is uncomfortable or difficult. Speaking the truth earns respect, protects one's honor, and strengthens society as a whole. In daily life, avoiding exaggerations, half-truths, and misleading statements is equally important. Trustworthiness is a quality that Allah loves, and it begins by being truthful in speech. A Muslim's word should be as reliable as their prayer. Therefore, guarding the tongue against lying is not just about social etiquette. It is an essential part of one's relationship with Allah and the hallmark of true Islamic character. 2. Backbiting. Backbiting, or ghibah in Islam, is speaking about someone in a way they would dislike if they heard it, even if what is said is true. The seriousness of this sin is emphasized heavily in the Quran, where Allah compares backbiting to eating the flesh of one's dead brother, a horrifying and vivid image meant to stir deep reflection. Backbiting poisons hearts, spreads distrust, and destroys communities from within. It is often disguised as casual conversation or concern, but it plants seeds of hatred and jealousy. A believer is commanded to protect the honor of others, just as they would want their own honor protected. Even listening to backbiting without stopping it makes one complicit in the sin. Instead of speaking ill of others, Islam encourages making excuses for them, maintaining their dignity, and addressing issues directly with kindness if necessary. Guarding the tongue from backbiting reflects a heart that is pure and a soul that seeks Allah's pleasure. It's a sign of wisdom and maturity to stay silent rather than indulge in harmful talk. True brotherhood and sisterhood in Islam are built by covering the faults of others, not exposing them. 3. Curses and bad language. Cursing and using bad language are acts that deeply stain the character of a Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, made it clear that a true believer does not curse, insult, or use foul words. Harsh and vulgar speech reflects a heart that is disconnected from mercy and compassion. Every word a Muslim utters should uplift, heal, and bring peace, not cause pain or humiliation. Swearing, even in anger or frustration, plants negativity both in the speaker's soul and in the environment around them. Over time, it hardens the heart and weakens one's sensitivity towards sin. In Islam, even cursing objects, animals, or situations is discouraged, as it spreads negativity and shows ingratitude. A Muslim is expected to maintain dignity in every circumstance, choosing calmness and patience over uncontrolled emotions. Moreover, habitual bad language often leads to bigger sins, as the tongue becomes careless and the heart becomes desensitized. True strength lies in restraining one's anger and responding with words that reflect nobility and wisdom. Choosing silence or gentle speech when provoked is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of deep faith and self-control. The words we speak are a mirror of the state of our hearts. 5. Arrogant speech. Arrogant speech is one of the most dangerous traits a believer must avoid. Speaking in a way that shows superiority, mocks others, or highlights one's own achievements with pride is deeply condemned in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught that even a small amount of arrogance in the heart can prevent a person from entering paradise. Arrogance through words often appears subtle, boasting about wealth, status, knowledge, or looking down on those less fortunate. Such speech not only harms relationships, but also blinds a person to their own faults. In truth, everything a person has is a gift from Allah, not a reason for pride. A believer's words should be marked by humility, gratitude, and compassion. Speaking modestly reminds the soul of its dependence on Allah and keeps the heart soft and receptive to guidance. Even when blessed with success, a Muslim should use their words to praise Allah rather than themselves. True honor comes not from boasting, but from sincere gratitude and humility. Arrogant speech distances a person from both people and divine blessings, while humble speech draws hearts closer and elevates a person's rank in the sight of Allah. 6. Harsh criticism. Harsh criticism is a form of speech that deeply wounds the hearts of others and can cause lasting emotional damage. Islam emphasizes advising others with wisdom, gentleness, and kindness. Speaking harshly, even when pointing out a mistake, often closes the heart of the listener rather than opening it to improvement. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was known for his incredible gentleness when correcting others, setting a standard for how Muslims should communicate. Harsh words can make a person feel humiliated, unwanted, or even rebellious against the advice being given. True constructive criticism focuses on helping, not hurting. It chooses words that inspire rather than words that shame. A believer is called to be a mirror for their brother or sister, showing faults with sincerity and respect, not anger or pride. Timing, tone, and choice of words matter greatly when offering advice. Even when someone makes a clear mistake, Islam teaches to correct privately and speak with empathy. Words used in anger or superiority rarely bring about positive change. Guarding the tongue from harsh criticism reflects emotional intelligence, compassion, and a deep understanding of Islamic manners in dealing with people. 7. Blasphemous or disrespectful speech. Blasphemous or disrespectful speech toward Allah, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, or any aspect of Islam is one of the gravest sins a Muslim can commit. Islam commands utmost reverence for Allah's name, His messengers, and the teachings of the faith. To speak ill of these sacred matters is not only an offense to the faith, but a direct attack on the foundations of belief. Words that disrespect or mock the divine or the Prophet ﷺ undermine the core principles of Islam. Even casual or thoughtless remarks can have severe spiritual consequences. The Quran and Hadith are clear about the severity of this sin, emphasizing that those who mock the religion are at risk of losing Allah's mercy. A true believer is careful with their speech, knowing that the honor of Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should be protected at all costs. Disrespectful speech can harm others' faith, especially in sensitive or vulnerable moments. Guarding the tongue against blasphemous or irreverent speech is essential to maintaining one's relationship with Allah and preserving the sanctity of Islam. Humility, reverence, and deep respect for the sacredness of our faith should guide every word we speak. Guarding our tongues is an essential part of nurturing our inner Deen. By avoiding harmful speech, we draw closer to Allah and protect ourselves from unnecessary hardship. Let's make a conscious effort to speak words that reflect kindness, truth, and respect. May Allah grant us the wisdom to control our tongues and the strength to always speak in ways that please Him. If you found this video beneficial, please like, share, and subscribe to Inner Deen for more insightful content. Comment below with a prayer for Allah's guidance and protection over your words. O Allah, guide my speech to reflect your mercy and wisdom.